Good afternoon, card community. It is RJ, and it is time for the Sunday Trivia Recap. Hooray, loud cheers, applause, mass hysteria, people rioting in the streets, people overturning cars, but they're only Matchbox cars, and people graffitiing all over the place. But luckily, it's just graffiti celebrating how great the Phillies are. So all kinds of craziness going on, but we still have time to celebrate a lot of trivia and give away a lot of prizes. All right, so let's get to that, shall we? All right. Monday's question was, who is the individual generally credited with founding the modern Negro Leagues that began in 1920? The answer, Rube Foster. On the back, you will see his name was Andrew Bishop Foster. He played a lot of Negro League ball in his youth back in the early 1900s, and then around about 1920, as he was getting a little older, he decided to gather together some of the better barnstorming Negro League teams and set up an actual league with a schedule and things like that to put out a product. I wouldn't say to compete with the major leagues, but certainly to offer the black community a entertainment venue that was just solely theirs. So he is the individual credited with that in 1920. Out at the Paseo YMCA is where they met in Kansas City. One of the reasons the Negro League Museum is still in Kansas City to this day. The prize for getting that right will be this awesome Ketel Marte Prism Fearless insert card. Actually, it's Fearless, and it's serial numbered out of 149. So that is your prize. The individuals up on the screen were kind enough to throw out a guess for that question. I'll scroll down so you can see everybody here. So that is the first trivia question, and as we are wont to do on my channel, we will shuffle once and spin. You must hit 3 times on my channel because I like to draw out the suspense and give everybody else an opportunity rather than just one and done. So we will spin. Again, you must hit 3 times, so good luck to everybody. Here we go. All right, so it is Sunday, obviously, when I post this video. I haven't yet filmed my 3 videos for the upcoming week. I always pre-film all my videos. And one of the things that's great about this week, I should say, is yesterday, Saturday, and technically it's still going on today, was the Philly show. Bigger show up here in the suburbs of Philadelphia. And I was able to get there yesterday. Met up with a couple guys. I'll leave that for the video to talk about. But got some really cool things I want to show off for the Philly show. Very excited about doing that. And obviously, when you go to a show, you pick up, I hope you pick up some cool stuff, and I did that as well. I'm looking very much forward to showing off some of the cool things that I picked up that day. I was hoping to run into a couple additional people, not like specific people per se, but I had mentioned last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago, the meet and greet with Steve Carlton, and I walked away. Took a stack of promo cards because he represents a certain health network, and that health network created their own little advertising card for Steve Carlton, and they tote that around whenever Steve makes an appearance. He signs and gives those away to fans as part of his duties for that health network and being its spokesperson. And I brought a whole stack of those with me in case anybody came up to me and mentioned and said, hey, I was going to give them a card, but unfortunately I didn't run into a lot of people, or a lot of people didn't come up to me, so, but I still gave away a couple. So that was good. And it's just all that. I just did it so I could, share the wealth with everybody in the card community, so to speak. So it was still a good day. And again, the real reason to go there was to pick up some awesome stuff, which I did, and I can't wait to share that to you. I did, it's funny, I was thinking about this. I took a lot of money with me. Didn't spend even half of it, though. I couldn't find a big ticket item I wanted. I mean, I found some big ticket items, but they were like more than $1,000. And there's certainly a couple, what do I want to say? There's still a couple cards that I need to get for some of my PSA set registries that are going to be in excess of $1,000. And I'm just not, you know, if I'm going to get something like that, I'm going to have to save up for that. It's not easily, it's not easy for me to part with that kind of money. I'm not just going to whip it out of my bank and hand it over to some guy for a card. It's one of those things you got to save up for, or definitely, I think it's Ken's third, is it? Nope, it's still Ken. Second. We're getting almost everybody is involved now. Sorry, Adam. And Jeremy Michaels wins a lot, so I'm not, no offense, Jeremy, I'm not sad that you're being blocked out. And then Adam hits, look at that. So Jeremy's the last guy. Sorry, Jeremy, but again, Jeremy wins a lot on my channel for some reason, so I'm not going to be too upset. Adam hits 2 in a row. Look at you coming from behind, Adam. But yeah, so I'm very excited to show off the stuff I picked up at the show. Grade Worthy. Okay, that was a while. But Grade Worthy, that's a different Adam if I remember correctly, but Grade Worthy, you'll be getting this awesome serial numbered Ketel Marte, the Mojo Refractor Fearless insert. That'll be coming out to you shortly, sir. All right, moving on to Wednesday. Wednesday's question was an interesting one. There were a lot of nicknames, a lot of great nicknames in the world. I remember there was a guy, and I don't remember who it was. It was an individual back in the early days of baseball. He was such a he was like maybe an awesome fielder, but he was called Death to Flying Things. That was his nickname. Well, I asked this interesting question. I said, who was the individual with the nickname the Wild Horse of the Osage? Who is that? And the answer is Cardinals great Pepper Martin. He is not a Hall of Famer, but he really was a dynamic player, I will say, during the Cardinals gas house gang days of the early 30s. The Cardinals won the World Series in 31 and won the World Series again in 34. 34 more than 31 is typically considered the gas house gang, but you know, these guys were awesome. Many great years in the early 30s. The Cardinals were a fantastic team, and Pepper Martin being from Oklahoma, I don't know why the Osage, you know, forgive me for not looking up the specific details, but the Wild Horse of the Osage is the nickname he got. Your prize for guessing on that one, I have here from 2021, the Chris Sale card. This is your advanced stat version, numbered to 300. So it's got your sabermetric stats on the back of this one. And again, numbered to 300. So we are on to Wednesday. The individuals up here on the screen were kind enough to throw out a guess. Grade Worthy, you are out on this one. You cannot win but once a week on my channel. Everybody else is still a typical or standard regular contestant in my channel. So I will shuffle once and spin. Good luck to everybody on this one. I was thinking about the videos that I was going to produce, and it was interesting. This is something I had done a couple of years ago because it was Saturday morning, and I always I pre-film my videos on Saturdays, just because the timing is such that I want to spend more time with the family. So during the week, I don't do any filming at all. I do all my filming early in the day on Saturday and Sunday. And one day, I have a good friend of mine, who likes to do hikes on the Appalachian Trail. And he's been going all over the state of Pennsylvania. You know, the Appalachian Trail is not something you can do in a day. It's, you know, thousands of miles. And he does a couple sections for like a week. He'll take a week off from work, and he'll do a few, you know, several miles over the course of a week. And he had asked me a couple times to take him out to wherever he was going to start from. and I'm happy to do so. And if you look back a couple years ago or so, I had filmed a video. I had him film me doing one of my videos because there he was. I had time, and I just asked him to film me as I was talking about whatever on those videos. Ooh, Bears baseball cards. So Jesse over at Bears baseball card just hit 3 times right there. So congrats to you, sir. You will get this fantastic Chris Sale advanced stat card. That'll be coming your way. Congrats on that. We are now on to Friday's video. Friday, I asked a simple question. I said, in what year was the first postage stamped issue, or should I say, in what year was the first postage stamp issued that had a baseball theme, either an event in baseball history or a person in baseball history? In what year was the first such stamp, postage stamp, ever issued? The answer is 1939. In 1939, this came out. This is an uncut, unused sheet of the 1939 Centennial of Baseball stamp. If you recall the fake history of baseball through some very dubious research and reporting, suggested that Abner Doubleday created baseball back in 1839 at Cooperstown, New York. That was the rumor, the legend. And baseball just thought that was a great explanation as to the invention of baseball, because Abner Doubleday was considered a Civil War hero, West Point graduate, an all-American man. And baseball had to be an all-American sport, so the concept that an all-American man, hero of the Civil War, was responsible for its creation was something that the people who ran baseball really wanted to promote. And it was quickly debunked. I mean, the second the report was released, the Mills Commission, the second they released that report, other people jumped on board and say, actually, no, it was this guy. And luckily, Alexander Cartwright got his due as a founder, but for a long time, baseball held on to that myth. And this 3-cent stamp from 1939 was issued to celebrate the centennial of baseball. I'm not sure if you can see that right above the word United States. Really fine print. It says Centennial of Baseball. Shows a group of boys playing in a field somewhere. So that is the answer, the 1939 postage stamp of the Centennial of Baseball. And your prize for guessing on that one, really cool 2004 Donruss Studio, the Studio Proof parallel version, which is numbered to 100, of Gary Sheffield, 500 home run member, Gary Sheffield. This is 94 out of 100. A kind of guy who, because you hit 500 home run these days, you almost have to be in the Hall of Fame, but for whatever reason, Sheffield never got the love that other 500 home run players got. So unfortunately, he is still out of the Hall, but this is a cool serial numbered card for you collectors out there. So that is your prize for that one. Moving on to the Friday list. Again, these are the individuals who threw out a guess. I will remove grade worthy and Bears baseball cards because you can win only once on my channel. And a shout out to a couple newbies on this day. I got a couple new additions to people who not regularly signed on. Center Hill Cards was kind enough to throw out a guess on that one. Give them some love. DS Sports has joined a couple times, but not often, so shout out to DS Sports. And then I'm not sure about this particular channel. It is called Versing. I'm going to throw this out. Vercingetorix 3.0. No clue if that's pronounced correct. And he does. This is a channel, and at the moment there was one short up on the this individual's channel. It was a kind of like a run through of various Boston sporting items. So don't know anything about them, but I want to thank this individual for throwing out a guess and joining in. So here you are on the people who join on Friday. We shuffle once again and spin. You must hit 3 times. So good luck to everybody on this one. So yeah, I was taking my friend up this weekend, Saturday morning, real early, and I had pre-packed a whole backpack of stuff because I was going to the show after that. After I dropped him off, I was going to run over to the show, and I had pre-packed up some stuff to hand to him to film. Like he was going to film me talking. I was telling him, okay, now pick up. I was going to say, okay, now open up the next thing, show it off to the camera, and then come back to me, and I'll tell you all about that thing, whatever it was. And I was very mad at myself because I knew I was coming home after I dropped him off, and before I went to the show, I had to go home and do some stuff real quick. And it turned out I forgot the backpack of stuff for him to film, so I didn't get a chance to rope him into helping me do some videoing on Saturday morning. So, but in truth, though, it's probably good that he wasn't involved, only because we left at like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning yesterday, and the sunlight wasn't good. You wouldn't have been able to see me very well. So in hindsight, it's probably better that I didn't have him film me, because we wouldn't have been able to see anything. But it was fun to go take him up there. It's fun to hang out with your buds, even if it is just driving him like an hour away so he can hike the Appalachian Trail or whatever. So that's what I did Saturday really early morning. But then, like I said, I did spend some great time at the show. A little bummed about the show, though, because that's 3 for Tommy Markle. That happens sometimes. All right, 3, Tommy Markle, 3 in a row. And you, sir, get to snag this awesome studio, 2004 Donner Studio Sheffield Parallel. So congrats to you. All right, so that's all I have for you today, people. I hope you enjoyed that. If you do, please consider liking, subscribing, commenting, and all that jazz. And again, the highlight of my weekend was yesterday being at the Philly show. I was there for most of the day. I was going to stay for the trading. There was supposed to be a trade night, but it didn't seem to be gelling too well, and I gave up on it, so I left early. But I do have a lot of great stuff to show you. So come back Monday, Wednesday, and Friday next week. Great trivia and prizes and awesome things from the Philly show. Thanks for watching. Take care.